You know, I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime, but even I didn't see this one coming. Because the one-time manager of former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis and also the former manager of heavyweight contender David Price, Frank Maloney, has announced today in a bizarre interview with the press in the UK that he is about to undergo a sex change operation to become a woman. Now, obviously, I'm aware that there are people in society who have these sex change operations. But Frank Maloney, at least his public persona that he put across, never gave any indication that he was this way inclined. Frank Maloney, as a young boy, was an amateur boxer. He grew up in Peckham in South London. He, later on in life, became a boxing manager and promoter. He worked with Frank Warren and later on broke away from Frank Warren and did his own thing. Famously signed Lennox Lewis, was Lennox Lewis's manager for a long time. And during this time, Frank Maloney got married. He was married twice. He's got kids. The guy is now in his 60s. And he's retired now from boxing. He retired after David Price got knocked out by Tony Thompson for the second time. And all of a sudden he comes out dressed as a woman, saying that he has been a woman trapped in a man's body all these years and he's been dying to come out, but he was afraid of what people would say. He was afraid of the backlash from the boxing community, etc., etc. I mean, some people are saying this could be some weird social experiment and it's a wind up and it's not real, or it's a publicity stunt, or a way for Frank Maloney to make money after his boxing career is finished. Maybe he's got money problems. I don't know. But for the sake of the argument, let's just say it's real. Let's just say he's telling the truth. I'm very interested in human psychology, so it's an interesting case to me. I'm wondering why Frank Maloney has decided to go public anyway. If he feels that worried about what people are going to say, why go public with it? But what's very interesting to me about this case is the reaction of the public to it. Because this is a perfect example of how insane many people are throughout modern day Western culture. Because the reaction that most people are giving to this Frank Maloney story is they're cheering him on. This is amazing. Good for you, Frank. Whatever makes you happy. And all this kind of stuff. This society is completely insane. Here is a man who is about to go and have his genitals sliced off and mutilated and have chemicals pumped into his body to physically change him for the rest of his life. This is a man who's been living in turmoil because he believes that he's a woman trapped in a man's body. Now, here's a newsflash for you people. That's not normal. If you want to go and slice off your genitals, mutilate them, and take a bunch of chemicals for the rest of your life, you've got problems. I don't care about no political correct bullshit, because that's what it is. It's bullshit. I'm dealing with logic and reason here. If someone wants to go and do that to themselves, they have got serious psychological or, psychophysical problems. And we should be, as a society, looking at people like this and saying, how can we prevent this happening to people? How can we prevent people going through this kind of anguish and turmoil where they feel like they were born as the wrong sex? Why are we not doing more research into how we can prevent these kind of things from happening? So that we don't get people wanting to slice off their own genitals and mutilate themselves. I mean, please. Can't we at least try and support the natural order of things? Men are born as men, okay, for a reason. Females are born as females for a reason. Can we not support nature? Can we not do that? Is that so abhorrent to us these days, supporting what nature intended us to be? Why is it? I don't understand this insane mentality that people have today, that they could be cheering on a man who's about to mutilate himself. I mean, unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. So I'm going to be doing a video which is pretty closely related to this particular topic, in terms of transgender people, homosexuals and all this kind of stuff. And by the way, I'm certainly not homophobic. I'm certainly not someone who wants to outlaw homosexuality, because homosexuality or homosexual practices are banned in other countries. They're illegal. I'm not in favor of any of that. But I certainly am not in favor of promoting and encouraging homosexual behavior and homosexual culture, because it is absolutely awash with all types of incredible problems, which many people are unaware of. I've enlightened people to many of the problems within these communities. I'm not talking about incredible problems that you just don't get on anywhere near the type of scale within the straight community. Okay? And this is why I think it's dangerous and irresponsible to be promoting certain lifestyles and behaviors, because these lifestyles and behaviors are actually extremely unhealthy and detrimental to the people who partake in them. Okay? I'm not out here saying people are immoral or this, that, and the other. No, I'm not a religious person. So I'm not coming at it from God says this is wrong. I'm not coming at it from anything like that perspective. I'm coming at it from a perspective of logic, because the society we live in today in the Western world is insane. I mean, most societies are insane to one degree or another, but for different reasons. But in Western society, in Europe and America, we have a particular insanity in our society, okay? Or a particular bunch of insanities. So I'm going to make a video pertaining to those particular topics. But, you know, as far as Frank Maloney, he always came across as a very emotional guy. I mean, there was times when he was managing Lennox Lewis that he had to be pulled away from the negotiating table when he was negotiating certain fights because he was too emotional. They had to bring in other people like Panos Eliades and other people to close the deals because Frank Maloney just couldn't hold it down, couldn't contain his emotion. So maybe there was signs there of traits which some people may consider to be female or feminine, but there was nothing overt that I saw anyway from the outside looking in that would make me, you know, that would lead me to believe he might feel like he was a woman inside and want to go and mutilate himself, cut off his genitals and all this crazy stuff. So, yeah, it is what it is. I think that, as I've said, situations like this, we should be thinking, how do we prevent this from happening? Because this guy's obviously in tremendous turmoil all his life, and it doesn't, and no amount of, you know, genital mutilation and hormone replacement therapy is going to turn Frank Maloney into a woman. He's always going to be a man, and deep down he knows it. He's never going to be truly fulfilled. If this guy really feels like he should have been born a woman, it don't matter how much he mutilates himself or how much chemicals he pumps into his body. He's never going to be one. Okay? So he's always going to feel fucked up inside, basically. So we should be looking at, how do we prevent these kind of things from happening to people? What are the causes? How do these, you know, abnormalities occur in the first place? That is the logical way to think. But instead, we're taught, no, let's celebrate it. Guy's cutting off his genitals and pumping himself full of chemicals. Let's celebrate this shit. Totally insane. Anyway, I'm sure there are going to be overly emotional, illogical, irrational people angry at me for stating the most logical argument. But, you know, it is what it is. We live in an insane society, so people are going to say insane things in the comment section below. It is what it is.